Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 14. And let me just start off by saying, Charrisse, there is no way that I am asking anybody or bugging anybody or begging for their friendship. If somebody does not like me, it is what it is. I'm good. My self-esteem is high enough where I'm not going to ask, why don't you like me? You look desperate, and this whole beef between you and Karen is stale. And also, sis, we found out that you got caught in a lie because Karen laid out all her receipts. Now, on the flip side, Karen, I still stand by what I said about you in the last recap. I think that a lot of this is deflection, and that's cool if you don't like Charrisse, but let's not try to act like you don't like her because of what you're claiming. I think that you never liked Charrisse. But y'all, let's just jump right on into it because I have a lot to say, and you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. The episode starts off with Karen and Charrisse still going at it. They both look silly in my opinion, screaming and arguing, slamming the table. I said, okay. But Charrisse starts mocking Karen and she's like, Karen girl, you and all these theatrics, please stop. How did I disrespect your mom? I didn't say anything about your mom. Can you please fill me in because I'm lost? The other ladies are asking Karen as well about when did Charrisse bring up your mother because they're also confused. Karen lets it be known that she questioned Charisse's sincerity when Charrisse attended her mom's funeral. We also learned that Charrisse and Karen weren't friends at the time of Karen's mom passing away, and when Charrisse showed up, she was taken aback. Again, I find it irritating when they're arguing about stuff that happened years ago and off camera. But Candace wants to know from Karen, what exactly did she find offensive about Charrisse showing up to her mom's funeral? So Karen says that it wasn't offensive. She was just upset because she wanted to believe that Charrisse was coming from a good place, but she was angry when she saw Charrisse bring it up at Candace and Chris's anniversary party. And we see the footage of everybody at Candace and Chris's anniversary party when she had the cash bar, and Candace, you know I love you down, but don't ever have a cash bar again, okay? But we do see the footage of Charrisse bringing up how she was there for Karen when she went to Karen's mom's funeral. So Karen says that it's a big F you when somebody shows up for you for self-serving purposes. Now Charrisse is defending herself in her confessional, and Charrisse, girl, that confessional look was not it. I said, that wig? No.
No.
But Charrisse says that she's upset that Karen is trying to spin it like she has ill intentions because that's not the case. She was there to support because nobody else showed up. Now, I do want to talk about that quickly. I understand that things weren't the best between Giselle and Karen and Robin and Karen and Ashley and Karen, but I do think that it's kind of strange that these are your cast members. You guys do have a relationship, and the fact that nobody showed up to the funeral, I think it's a bit odd. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I was surprised to find out that none of these other women showed up for Karen in her time of need. But again, I digress. So of course you have Giselle and Robin still petitioning for Charrisse, and they're like, Karen, Charrisse was there for you. That's a good friend to drive 4 hours away in no man's land with no cameras. That's not a clout chase. That's a good friend. And I said, it's just so interesting that you two are dying on this hill of them speaking and being good friends, but you don't want to resolve things with Wendy. It's really weird to me. So here's where things get really messy. Karen and Charrisse are still going at it. You have Karen saying that Charrisse is out here destroying families. They're all confused, like, what? Now, when Karen said that, it made me wonder, was she talking about Monique? Because remember the whole rumor about the paternity of their youngest son and Charrisse and Giselle were allegedly the ones running with that rumor. So I was thinking, was she referring to that whole thing? I don't know, let me know down in the comments, but that's the first thing that came to mind. So Charrisse is pissed. She's like, really, Karen? That's a lie. And also, don't you have girlfriends that you've fallen out with and they don't have nice things to say about you either? So now Charrisse claims that Karen was in rehab and her friends bailed her out and they went out partying right after. I don't know whether Charrisse is telling the truth or not, but personally, I wouldn't be surprised, only because I clearly remember season 3 at the reunion, Karen admitted to everybody that she had gotten a DUI because she had driven drunk. And then she had said that that was her reasoning of getting a driver because she wouldn't have to deal with driving home intoxicated. So I said I wouldn't be surprised if Karen did do a stint in rehab. I did see a lot of people saying that that's not Charrisse's place to talk about that or bring that up if it is true. But I said, okay, now let's hold on. Because last season, Karen claimed that Giselle went to Sing Sing. And we all know what she was referring to. So I said, if we're going to go by those standards, then Karen saying that about Giselle, that's not right either. Because that's pretty much cracking at somebody's mental health. So we're going to be fair. Let's be fair. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Karen did go to rehab. Do I care? Am I judging? No, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. That's all I'll say about that. Now, can somebody fill me in on what Karen meant by because of Charrisse, she can't go to Safeway? I was thinking, well, why can't you go grocery shopping because of Charrisse? Like, I'm confused. But let me know why, because again, I was so lost. I said, what does Charrisse have to do with you going to Safeway? Now, I was irritated when Karen and Charrisse stopped arguing, and you have Robin trying to make a joke saying, well, I'm guessing that the shaman from a few hours ago didn't work. So now you have Ashley jumping in saying that, well, sometimes healing isn't pretty. And then you have Giselle interject and say, well, actually, the shaman did work because Karen and Charrisse haven't talked in years and they finally communicated despite them yelling and cursing each other out. I do not understand why you all are so pressed for them to talk. The same way you don't want to talk to Wendy ever again, then let Karen and Charrisse just not be friends anymore. It's clear that you want her back on this show, but this is not the way to go about it. And of course, Giselle has to be so annoying, saying that she sees a rainbow between the two of them. And I said, what about the rainbow between you and Candace and you and Wendy? Because you're over here doing all these interviews saying that you have no interest in ever speaking to Wendy again, and then you're talking about Candace needs a life and Candace wants to be a victim. But yet you're so concerned about what Karen and Charrisse are doing. Like, shut up. Now, when the dinner was over, we saw Candace, Ashley, Wendy, and Charrisse at the bar. They're dancing. And then we see Mia and Jacqueline in Jacqueline's room, and they're trying to talk things out and trying to resolve their issues. The conversation between Jacqueline and Mia goes left. Jacqueline lets Mia know that what went down between them was unacceptable. Mia telling everybody that Jacqueline doesn't have any friends. Jacqueline said, girl, you will not sit here and slander my name. And Mia is the last one to talk about anybody not having friends. As nasty and as rude as she is, like, girl, really? We see you can't keep a friend. You don't even know how to be a friend. So, of course, Mia's playing dumb like she always does. And Jacqueline says, for you to take this argument to the next level, for you to insinuate and act like I did something with Gordon, like, girl, stop. So Jacqueline says, you're sitting here lying on me, talking about close your legs to married men. Mia, just stop. So you have Mia saying, well, I said that because it's the truth. Where was the lie? I said one thing about Mia, she is diabolical. That woman does not care about anybody or anything. And if spraying all of her tea means that she'll spray yours, she will gladly do that. Jacqueline was shook when Mia said that. I feel like, what a mess. You have your so-called best friend of 30 years on this show with you, and for you guys to fall out in the middle of the season like this, was this worth it? It's just crazy to me that this show has single-handedly destroyed their friendship. And the fact that Mia is so willing to put her friend out to dry like this is very sad. I could see Bravo bringing Mia back and then also bringing Jacqueline back and making her full-time, since they have a huge beef between them. And with all their skeletons coming out, I could definitely see Mia and Jacqueline being back. Now, do I want that? No, but I could see it happening. Now, I don't know about you guys, but does this trip feel a bit dry to you? Because when we get to the next scene with Ashley doing the beach yoga with Giselle, Mia, and Jacqueline, I was like, yawn, really? I don't know. This trip is falling flat, but they're doing yoga. Then we have Karen and Candace on the beach. They're just talking about what happened last night. Karen says that last night confirmed her feelings, that she was right to not trust Charrisse. Like I said, I do not want to hear anything more about this whole Charrisse versus Karen drama. It's boring and it's tired. I personally feel like they're both doing a lot, and I'm not entertained by it. Now, when Charrisse pulled up to the beach, I said, Charrisse, what are you wearing? Charrisse had on a white shirt and some leggings or some biker shorts. I said, that's what you wear for a beach day? Again, Charrisse, if you want to be a full-time cast member, you're not selling it. You're not giving us any glam. I mean, you always look so disheveled in every single scene. What is going on? You guys said it perfectly on Twitter. Every time Charrisse is in front of that camera, she always looks like she's running errands or like she just came out of a Soul Cycle class. The wig is always askew, it's always turned over, the makeup is always running. I mean, it's like, girl, you're on national TV, let's get it together. And for you to claim to be the real Grand Dame, this is not Grand Dame behavior. But anyhow, Charrisse is still upset, and she's talking to Giselle saying that Karen is so fake, and she's praying that she doesn't end up in a Mexican jail. I said, okay, Charrisse, please. Now, when the ladies arrived to the cenote, this scene was boring. Yeah, I don't have much to say. We see them get into the water, the mosquitoes are buzzing around, and my whole thing was, when you guys go on vacation, don't you pack sunscreen and bug spray? You didn't want to buy some bug spray at the gift shop in the hotel? Like, that would have been the first thing that I got. There is no way that I would have allowed those mosquitoes to get me like that. Ashley was getting on my nerves, talking about how she swam in so many cenotes and it's been very transformational, very spiritual. And I said, oh, all right. But yet you still act like a demon in every single episode. So I want to know how transformational these cenotes have been when you haven't changed at all. Now, when they sat down to have lunch, the conversation turns to healing, and now we have Karen asking Ashley and Candace where they stand with each other. I said another pair that we don't need to force to be friends. But Karen brings up her live show and all the drama that went down with Ashley bringing her sorry friend Deborah. And so Ashley says that it wasn't her intention to bring Deborah around to cause trouble. She just did it because if this were her, she'd like to know what people were saying about Michael. Now I said, Ashley, you do forget that we can roll the tapes back, right? Because when people have come to you about Michael, you get defensive and you get upset. And when Candace told you about what Michael was doing in that hotel, you obviously were angry and you want to get revenge on her. So let's not act like you've been so receptive and just so happy to hear about what Michael's been doing. Please, let's not do this, girl. I've been watching this show since season 1, episode 1, all right? I was there in the trenches. I was there when Katie Ross was on here, all right? And she was clearing all of you guys. So don't sit up here and try to play me because we won't have it today. But I loved how Candace got Ashley together so gracefully, and she did it in a way where she actually seemed like she was concerned about Ashley's well-being. I said, now that's how you read somebody. But Candace says, Ashley, in all seriousness, in your relationship with Michael, whom you're getting a divorce from, there have been a lot of toxic notes in your relationship. And going forward in your next relationship, I want you to know that you don't deserve that. You deserve a love where you don't have to question what he's doing. Me personally, I don't need to ask questions because I know my man. I said, Candace, that's how you read somebody. I was here for it. And did you see how Ashley was so shook when she said that? Because she knows deep down inside that she, along with Giselle, are jealous of what Candace and Chris have. And Ashley knows that she's projecting because of the issues that she's dealt with Michael. That's all that it is, a big projection. Before anybody gets mad at me, it is what it is. I'm down to argue with you in the comments, but it still needs to be said. A lot of these women on this cast are upset and shook at the fact that their relationships have crumbled. They've been with cheating men, and the two dark-skinned women on this cast have loving marriages with men who are actually faithful. And I think that it really eats a lot of these other women up, that these two darker skinned women aren't dealing with the BS that they've dealt with and put up with. And again, I already know a few of you guys might fight me down below, and that's fine. I welcome it. But for the people that understand me, we're right here. I love how Candace has been playing chess, not checkers, this entire season, because her responses to everybody have been a 10 out of 10. They have been purposely trying to push her buttons to get her to react, because they always say that she's so reactive, she's immature, she needs to handle her emotions better. And in season 7, she said, bet, I got you. And she has been doing just that. She is not giving them the satisfaction, and I love every single minute of it.
I love it. I love it.
And I'm also so happy to see that a lot of you guys are coming around and seeing that Candace was never the villain. I'm loving all the love that Candace is getting. It's like your eyes are opening up. I'm seeing so many people saying that, wow, I'm actually liking Candace. And I'm like, yes, finally. But Ashley even admits that Candace is correct in her assessment. And she says, you know what, Candace, you're right. My relationship has been toxic, a lot of crazy elements going on, and how I approach things is not how you approach things. And for that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing Deborah around. I was not trying to be harmful, but I see why you took it that way. Now, Ashley, we all know that you brought Deborah around to be messy. So you could have kept that last part, saying, well, I didn't mean to be harmful. Girl, you meant it. You were trying to get Candace to react, and she refused to fall for your trap. So now all you can do is apologize, because your whole plan to set Candace up failed. And the next time you want to bring your raggedy friend on TV, make sure that you guys have your receipts and it's not a lie, because production aired y'all all the way out. How embarrassing for the both of you guys. You bring her on the show and she's getting clowned for being a liar, and now people are clowning her appearance. So now Candace says, Ashley, when it comes to you and I feel like we get to a good place and then you go ahead and sabotage it. Now, regarding Candace and Ashley, Candace, I have said this many times before, I want you to let the dream die of you and Ashley ever being friends again. Let it go. It's not meant to be. Ashley, for whatever reason, has a lot of animosity towards you. I think she's jealous of you. When somebody is jealous of you, they cannot be your friend. They want your life. They want to be you. It just doesn't work. Let it go. Season 8, if you guys are both back on, I do not want to hear any more talks about trying to rebuild a friendship. You've tried this several times, and every single time it bites you in the ass. Again, I don't want to hear any more talk about you and Ashley being friends. I'm still annoyed with you for letting her in your house in the first place. There is no way that Ashley would ever set foot in my home. I understand that Candace is very forgiving. That's great. It's a beautiful trait to have. But you can be forgiving and not be dumb. And I think it's dumb for Candace to still want to extend this olive branch and still try to have a friendship with Ashley. Ashley has burned her so many times. I don't believe that just because you're forgiving, you have to still allow poor treatment and still open the line of communication with somebody who's done you wrong. But guys, let me get off of that because we'll be here all day. Now, Ashley, when you admit that you do harbor resentment and animosity towards Candace because you're still upset with her for how she reacted to your story about how you had a miscarriage, let me just say this. Ashley, you have not been the nicest person. You yourself have also laughed at other cast members when they were going through hard times. Season 1, you laughed at Robin and her financial situation. You told everybody who would listen that Robin only had $25 in her bank account, not even caring or knowing that Robin's friend had swindled them and that's why they were broke. You laughed at Karen's tax situation. I remember you were great friends with Monique Samuels. And I remember that season when you guys had that boozy brunch and Monique got into a car accident. I think her Bentley went into a ditch. And you said that it was because of her drinking. She had 4 drinks at lunch. You called her an alcoholic. Then you went on to insinuate that her drinking was what led to her losing her child. So if we want to go down the list, you have been consistent in being evil to people and kicking them when they're down. Ashley, Giselle, and Robin are the epitome of they can dish it out, but they can't take it. And they also feel like the rules apply to everybody else except for them. They're allowed to attack people, lie on people's husbands, spread rumors, but when somebody else gives them a taste of their own medicine, now it's a problem? I don't like that. So now Wendy interjects, and I said, this has to be Wendy's first line in the whole episode. Now, a lot of you guys feel like this probably will be Wendy's last season. I could see it. For Wendy to only speak 25 minutes into the episode, I'm like, what's going on? But I really hope that's not the case because I do like Wendy and I do want to see her back for another season. Listen, if we can have Giselle on for 7 seasons straight with no storyline, Robin with a waning storyline that nobody cares about, Ashley hasn't had a real storyline in a few seasons now, and this whole divorce storyline is tired and we don't care about that. So I'm like, surely if they can be on this show for season 8, then we can have Wendy on for season 8 as well. Just my opinion. But Wendy says, as somebody who's hung out with the both of y'all, we always have a great time together. Do you think that you guys can table this and just move forward? So Ashley and Candace both agree that they can table this and try to move on. And like I said just a few minutes ago, I want everybody to let this dream go of Ashley and Candace being this duo. When I tell you that if I were on this show, Ashley would not get anything from me. I don't even think that she could get a hello out of me. I would be paying her dust each and every single time we had to film together. But now we see all the ladies head back to the resort and we see Charrisse and Ashley talking, and Charrisse is still upset about the blowout that she had with Karen. So she's telling Ashley that all she was trying to say was that she was there for Karen, but Karen wasn't there for her in her time of need. So Charrisse says that when her father died, Karen just sent her a one-line text that said, sorry for your loss. Now, Charrisse, I need to stop right here and call you out because this whole woe is me, I was such a good friend, Karen wasn't there for me, it was a lie. Because while Karen gets on my last good nerve as well, Karen brought out the receipts and she showed the text message that she sent you when your father passed away, and she sent you a long paragraph. So here's a text message that Karen sent to Charrisse. She put it on her Instagram page for everybody to see. But Karen wrote, "Charrisse, my family and I want to extend our condolences on the passing of your father. Know that God is in charge and he is at rest. If there is anything I can do, please let me know. When time permits, I would like the address where flowers are being received. If there is a charity you would like us to donate in memory of, please advise. Again, both you and your family are in our thoughts and prayers. Love, Karen." And then Charrisse wrote back, "Thank you, Karen. Your kindness and thoughtful words mean a lot during this difficult time." So Charrisse, my girl, the receipts are out and it shows that you were caught in a lie. Karen actually sent you a very lovely text message regarding your father's passing, and she also wanted to send flowers along with donating to a charity of your choice. Karen actually was a pretty decent person to you when your father passed away. I really hope that we can put this to bed because this whole argument is just stupid. Now we get to dinner, and this dinner was just more of the same stuff, y'all. I'm so tired of us even entertaining Robin and Juan's wedding. When they were asking Robin about, is she having a wedding? And she said, well, no, we want to do something small. Nobody else is going to be invited. It's like, all right, Robin, it's been 7 seasons of just stupidity with you. Like, we don't care anymore. If you're trying to get Bravo to pay for a ceremony, this isn't the way to do it. You guys both look dumb. And Karen had me screaming when she said, girl, you've been waiting for this man to propose to you again for 7 years, and now you don't want to have a ceremony? You don't want your mama there? Because it's BS and you know it. And I think it's tacky that Robin wants to have a ceremony the day after her brother-in-law's wedding in Jamaica. I said, okay, you're there to celebrate somebody else. It's not about you and Juan. Like, get your own special weekend to have your own wedding. Again, I'm not amused. I'm not entertained. I think that Robin is full of it, and I'm bored. We have been dealing with Robin and Juan and this will they or won't they get back together and this whole wedding thing for 7 seasons. And I thought it sounded so dumb of Mia to bring up a bachelorette party. And I said, if they're not invited to your wedding, then what's the point of them throwing you a bachelorette party? Like, it's just so dumb. When Giselle brought up the drama between Charrisse and Karen again, I said, Giselle, let this go. You are so hell-bent on why is Karen being so mean to Charrisse, but why won't you and Robin address why you've been so evil and nasty and just disgusting to Wendy and Candace? But especially Wendy. You guys took delight in her being assaulted. I don't understand. You guys focus on everybody else except yourselves. If I were Charrisse, I would have told Giselle and Robin, let this go. Because like I said earlier, you guys are making Charrisse look even more desperate with you all lobbying for Karen to talk to her. But you have Robin saying that Karen is really good at deflecting from the real issue. And I do agree with that. I think that Karen is a great deflector. But at the same time, Robin, it's not up to you to force Karen and Charrisse to be friends. Leave it alone. But Charrisse interjects and says that she's dealt with a lot of grief herself. She lost 3 brothers before the show started. And then she says that she lost her mom. And then she lost her dad. Then she goes on to say that if somebody does reach out to her in a low moment, she's not going to turn it around and turn it into something negative. So here's where things get really messy. Charrisse starts bringing up the show and how it all got started. So Charrisse says that I'm being accused of being desperate to get back in this group when I'm the one who put this group together. Now, Charrisse, I'll give you your props on that because you did put the show together. It was your idea, and you also knew all the ladies in the circle. If you don't know, Potomac was not supposed to be a Housewives franchise. It was supposed to be a show about Jack and Jill mothers, and the original name for the show was called the Potomac Ensemble. Jack and Jill got word about there being a reality show about the organization, and they called up Bravo and they said, if you use our organization in this show, we will sue. So Bravo was scrambling around and they said, well, we've already spent all this time and all this money on production. Let's just turn them into a Housewives franchise. And that's where the Real Housewives of Potomac came into play. But Charrisse, I find it comical that you're trying to deny being desperate, because you do want to be back on the show. It's evident you want to be in every single scene, and you do feel salty that you were the one to pitch this show to Bravo. You are the brainchild of this cast, and to be kicked off of your own show, so to speak, I know it's hurtful. It's sort of like how Mariah put together Married to Medicine and she was booted off of her show. So I get it, but don't deny it, sis, because we can all see that you want to be back on the show by any means. And Charrisse, I say this with no shade, but everything is not for everybody, and I don't feel like you have that it factor to be on reality TV. You weren't that interesting. The viewers thought that you were arrogant, rude, dry, stale, not much going on. They couldn't get a gauge of your personality, and you're back on now as a friend of, and you're not bringing a whole lot. Reality TV just might not be for you. Just my 2 cents. But I do think that Charrisse needs to own it. She does want to be back on this show, and it's killing her that she's not. So now Karen says, look, Charrisse, I'll give you that, but I wasn't even on your list to be in this group. So Charrisse says, yeah, because we weren't friends. I didn't even know you. Then Charrisse says that Karen should be grateful because they were at some event and Karen was sitting at her table and somebody walked by and said that Karen would be great for the show. So that's how Karen got on. So when Charrisse said that, Karen looked a bit shook because, let's be real, nobody wants the viewers to know that they weren't originally supposed to be on the cast. I thought it was interesting when Robin said that that's the real reason why Karen doesn't like Charrisse, because Charrisse is the true socialite of Potomac and has all the connections. Now, let me just say that I have always felt like there is a power struggle between Karen and Charrisse, because whether or not you like Charrisse, you cannot deny that she is well connected. And I have to admit, I do think that it bothers Karen. Now, on the flip side of things, Robin, I think it's so funny that you are saying exactly what the viewers have been saying for years, because that was something straight off of someone's Twitter page. That was definitely a fan read about Karen's jealous of Charrisse because Charrisse is the true socialite. So you can read the fans' comments about that, but when it comes to the colorism stuff, you want to breeze past that. Got it. But Robin's going on about how she sees Karen for who she truly is, and at the end of the day, Karen is a bullshitter. And I said one of the biggest bullshitters on this cast is calling Karen that? The jokes truly write themselves. So here goes Robin saying that Karen is being mean for no reason and how Charrisse is a human being. I said, Robin, are we going to play this game? The same woman who was laughing when Wendy Osefo got assaulted by Mia when you guys were in Miami, the same woman who kept calling Wendy an antagonizer, you didn't show any grace towards Wendy, no sympathy, no empathy. You went on to say that Wendy should leave the trip and go back home. How dare you try to say, well, Karen is being so mean and Charrisse is a human being. Wendy is also a human being. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? The audacity. And Robin, the fact that you were able to say with a straight face, Karen, you can apologize to everybody else, but you can't apologize to Charrisse, really? And I was so happy when Candace spoke up and said, this whole thing is triggering to me because the same way that Mia couldn't apologize to Wendy after what she did to her, she apologized to the group, but not Wendy. It's the same situation. I said, Candace, you better call it out. So now we jump to the whole Mia and Wendy incident, and you have Mia being so smug, talking about, well, I didn't apologize to Wendy because I'm not sorry for what I did. And I said, yeah, you talking all that on this show, but meanwhile, on your social media, currently, you have your whole comment section limited on Instagram because everybody has been tearing you up since that whole episode aired of you doing that to Wendy. And I've also read a few interviews that you've done talking about you're really sorry for what you did and you're blaming it on the alcohol as to why you assaulted her in the first place. Mia, you can save all that. I don't care about your weak apologies. It's too little too late. And Mia, the only reason why you're apologizing now because you're embarrassed, you can't believe all the backlash you've received, and now you're trying to cover your own ass. But now Wendy jumps in and she says, you assaulted me. You do know the definition of assault, right? You had no reason to put your hands on me. I didn't give you the right to touch me. So now you have Mia saying, do you know the definition of defamation of character? I said, girl, what are you talking about? Mia is such a loser. Like, there's no other way to describe her. She's a loser. So Wendy's confused. She's like, girl, what are you talking about? Do you remember how things escalated? Do you remember the sequence of events? So now Mia says, well, I do. I asked you a question. I was being a friend to you, but you missed the memo. So Wendy says, well, what memo did I miss? Because you're out here falling out with everybody, including your friend of 30 years. So obviously you missed the memo on how to be a good friend. I said, come through, Wendy. Let her know. So now Wendy addresses Mia because Mia's going around town telling everybody who will listen that Wendy said that Gordon's gay. So Wendy's like, I never said that about Gordon. I don't know why you're saying that. And then Mia says, yes, you did call him gay. You said that he sleeps with other men. And what's wrong with that, even if that were true? I was glad that Wendy let her know, like, what we won't do is this. This whole deflecting is not going to work with me, sis. All I did was repeat what you told us earlier last year, that you and Gordon have threesomes, you sleep with other people. I said that you guys sleep with other men and women. But how do you know that I wasn't saying that Gordon sleeps with the other women and you sleep with the other men? I never said that Gordon sleeps with the other men. Now, did you guys pay attention to how Giselle was off to the side, making snide remarks, trying to discredit whatever Wendy said? I said, the hate continues to jump out. You want to sit up here and crucify Karen for being mean to Charrisse, but yet you're up here being so evil towards Wendy? Let's make it make sense. And I just don't understand why Giselle hates her so bad, because I swear, every single time Wendy made a great point, there goes Giselle saying something under her breath. Giselle, shut the entire F up. She's so aggravating and so hateful. Wendy had me screaming when she said, and by the way, Peter told me that you guys aren't friends since you slept with his girlfriend. So now Mia's talking about, oh, well, I slept with her way before they got together. She was my girlfriend before she was his. So he was sleeping with my girlfriend at that point. I said, okay, Mia. And Mia was so hateful when she gave that weak apology saying, well, I'm sorry I threw the drink on you, but let's move on to the real topic. And I was so disgusted, like, wow. Mia really needs help, because who operates like this? You can't even own the fact that you're wrong. Like I told y'all in that rant video, Wendy did nothing that warranted a drink thrown in her face. Mia was 100% in the wrong, period, point blank. So we end the episode with Wendy and Mia still going at it. I was happy because my girl, Wendy, was clearing Mia. Mia could not take her. Wendy let it be known, like, you might have got me that one time, but if you ever throw a drink at me again, it's gonna be you and I. And when Mia said, is that a threat? And I said, oh, so it's okay for you to assault somebody, but when they threaten you, now you want to be all scared? How does that work, Mia? And I was also happy when Wendy said, and the reason why I didn't throw a drink at you or hit you back, because I actually have some stuff to lose, unlike you. And of course, Mia gets up from the table and she's saying stuff under her breath. I was happy that Wendy said, you are just so pressed about my lifestyle. Like, girl, why are you so pressed? And again, I think that these women cannot take the fact that you have the two dark-skinned ladies on this cast thriving. And the rest of them, I really can't say the same. Because one thing about it, even if Potomac should be canceled or whatever, Wendy and Candace will still have jobs. Giselle and Ashley and Mia, this show is their only job. And we know with Mia, she's no longer doing the clinics because Gordon's brothers took that over. They are no longer in that house in Potomac. They're back in the penthouse in Baltimore. So we're seeing in real time that Mia has never been a boss. It's been all smoke and mirrors. But y'all, that was my recap. And at this point, I am ready for the reunion. I know that they're filming the reunion this Thursday. So we have about a few more episodes left. But guys, these ladies are wearing me thin, okay? And I just hope and pray that Candace and Wendy bring it. I want to see them clear everybody. I want to see them eat and leave no crumbs. But y'all, again, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And you guys already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.